Good morning, it's Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. We'll be looking at the MACDs, the moving averages and the day support, resistance and pivot levels. It is Tuesday, the 3rd of November. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against the US dollar, it's bearish start to the morning. Going to need to see Bitcoin move back through the pivot at 13,535 to support a run at the first major resistance level, saying at 13,863. You're going to see broad-based crypto rally for Bitcoin to break out from yesterday's high. So that was at 13,836, however. So barring extended rally, I expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, you could see Bitcoin test resistance at 14,000. We got on the trend analysis a major resistance level at 14,055 to pin Bitcoin back. Second major resistance level sits at 14,164. Failure to move back through the pivot will bring the first major support level sitting at 13,234 into play. Barring another extended sell-off, Bitcoin should stay clear of sub 13,000 support levels. Second major support level sits at 12,906. Looking at the MACD, we've got a marked narrowing of the bullish histogram, supportive of this early pullback. On the EMAs, we're also seeing the 50 narrow on the 100 and the 200, also supporting the bearish start to the day. So failure to move through that pivot level at 13,535 would bring support levels into play. Moving across to Ethereum against the US dollar, also bearish start to the morning here. Then we see Ethereum move through the pivot at 388.75 to support a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 399.15. Then we see support from the broader market for Ethereum to break out from 395 levels, however. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 400 to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, could see Ethereum test resistance at 410 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 414.96. Failure to move through the pivot will bring the first major support level sitting at 372.94 into play. Barring another extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should stay clear of sub 360s. The second major support level sits at 362.54. We also have the 38.2% fib at 367 to limit the downside on the day. Looking at the MACDs, we've got a widening of the bearish histogram supportive of this early pullback, and we're seeing the 50 EMA pullback from the 100 and the 200, also supportive of a bearish morning ahead. So failure to move through that pivot level at 388.75 would bring that first major support level and the 38.2% fib at 367 into play. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, tracking the broader markets in the red early on. Can you see Litecoin move through the 23.6% fib at 54 and the pivot level at 54.62 to support a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 56.13. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Litecoin to break back through to 56 levels, however. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of breakout, could see Litecoin test resistance at 57 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 58.35. Failure to move through the 23.6% fib and the pivot would bring the first major support level sitting at 52.40 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should stay clear of sub 50s. Second major support level at 50.89 should limit any downside. Looking at the MACDs, we saw a failure of a bullish cross and a widening of the bearish histogram this morning, supportive of this early pullback. We've also seen the 50 EMA pull away from the 100 and the 200 following the bearish cross of the 100 through the 200 yesterday. So that's also supportive of a bearish morning ahead. The failure to move through that 23.6% fib and pivot would bring support levels into play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, bearish start as well. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP move through the pivot at 0.2378 to support a run at the first major resistance level at 0.2426. Going to see support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break back through to 0.24 levels, however. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of breakout, could see Ripple's XRP test resistance at 0.25 before any pullback. The second major resistance level sits at 0.2497. Failure to move through the pivot brings the first major support level at 0.2307 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should avoid sub 0.23 support levels. Second major support level sits at 0.2259. Looking at the MACD, we also saw a failure to deliver a bullish cross, with a widening of the bearish histogram this morning supportive of this early pullback, and we're seeing the 50 EMA pullback from the 100 and the 200 marginally supportive of this downside. So failure to move through that pivot level would bring support levels into play.